Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today. All right, so today is January 6th, 2025. We're sitting at around .38574 right now. Here's what we've been kind of looking at, or what we're looking at right now in general. We had this nice little run right here. Nice little run, and then we're bouncing kind of in between this top right here, the Fibonacci retracement level that we've been looking at, and then we also have this bottom right here where it came down, got support, bounced to the upside, came down, got support, bounced to the upside, came down, bounced. Right here, basically, we have these 4 points that are giving us this trend line at the bottom. It's just the wicks though. It's like wicking down and then coming up. The bodies are more. Let's see. No, I thought. Let's see. Maybe that's a different time frame. I don't know where I got this line from. Let's go ahead and delete it. I'm kind of trying to figure out what lines I need and don't need right now. But basically, we were watching this little. We had a nice little run up. It was having some trouble breaking through the Fibonacci retracement level right here. Boom. So I was looking at it and we started getting resistance. It started forming this downtrend. We broke that downtrend going sideways. We didn't really, we did go up technically, and that's what we look at right now. We technically got support pushing us to the upside. Right now we are on an uptrend after breaking through this downtrend, but like I said, we are also in this little, let's go ahead and delete this. I don't know what that's one. We're also under this resistance that we've had trouble going through 3 times at least. We broke through it on the 3rd time, but we weren't able to stay above it, and we kind of came back down. And that was another little sign where I thought, I don't know, maybe we're gonna go to the downside, but let's see what happens. Actually, I was also talking about how like there's support. Let's do something like this, just the wicks. I guess it technically hasn't. Maybe that's where that came from. Okay, so that's where that line was from. Technically, these were the first 2 supports. And right here, we found support on it. We're still above it, is kind of what I'm thinking of, though. So until we break that one, too, I mean, I'd be just looking at this on the smaller time frame. This is 1 hour time frame stuff, you know what I mean? Like I've been watching the Fibonacci retracement levels, and I'm kind of wondering if we're going to come back down to the 38% level, sitting at .338. Let me see, somewhere around there. Let me zoom out and show you what I'm talking about as far as the Fibonacci retracement levels go, because if you're new, you might not know what that is. Okay, so when we have a big run up and we start having trouble continuing to push to the upside, then we can get the Fibonacci retracement level, and we think we might be topping out potentially, like maybe we're topping out for right now. Then we get the Fibonacci retracement level, or Fibonacci retracement chart, drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run. Then that gives us levels to watch to dollar cost average on the way down. Maybe look for levels for us to bounce on. We had this big, huge run. We started getting a correction. We came down to the 50% level, just wicked down for a second, popped back up, then started going sideways, then got a bounce to the upside. And I was talking about that before, as I like watching the 50% and the 38%. So check it out on tradingview.com. Set up, go to Dogecoin. Look up Dogecoin as over here. Boom. You know what I mean? Create a playlist, stuff like that. But yeah, check it out on other charts as well. If there's like a nice big run, and then you start kind of having trouble pushing to the upside, do a Fibonacci retracement chart from the bottom to the top of it, and then that gives you levels that might bounce. Or if you sold, then it gives you levels to kind of get back in if it continues to head down, but you still want to continue to invest in it. So came down, hit that 50% level, 50%, boom, then started bouncing to the upside. I thought it was going to, it started coming up and then it started coming down, I thought it was going to come back down to this one. It never came back down. So I'm still waiting for that. What I'm curious right now, though, is are we going to go down and basically are we going to break through the Fibonacci, the 23% Fibonacci retracement level going to the upside, or are we going to break down and come back down, hit this level, and or break through it and go to the downside, which could be possible. But when we started having trouble, let me go ahead and delete this. Okay, so when we started having trouble back here, then that's when I took some profits. I think it was in here or something. And so I bought a little bit back at the 23% level. I bought some back at the 50% level, or 38% level, and bought some back at the 50% level, or tried to. Had limit orders. They all got filled. Boom, boom, boom. Then it came up, and I tried to take profit on that one because I thought it was going to come back down. It did not do that. Came back up, so let's see what happens. I'm kind of curious if we're going to continue to stay in this Fibonacci retracement box, this thing right here, because it's very predictable, which would be good in my opinion, or are we going to just continue to go up? I guess that would be good as well. If we just continue to go up, then the next spots that I'd be looking at are these red lines, which are previous resistance levels. I talked about this in yesterday's video if you want to check that out. But this line right here, if we zoom out, we have resistance back here. Resistance, there's a little resistance right there, and then there's that top right there. So those red lines are the next lines that I'd be looking at if we could break out of this Fibonacci retracement box. But if not, if we can't break out of it and we continue to go sideways and or down, boom, boom, boom. I mean, it didn't quite do that, but it kind of did. It went up, found resistance right at that 38% level, came back down. It didn't quite go to the 50% level, but we bounced through, once we broke through, and check it out. Once we broke through that 38% level, look at the candle that we got. Boom. Nice green candle. So moved up, and now look where we're having trouble though, the 28% level. So the 20% level is giving us trouble. I think though, this is pretty good though, because we had a nice big run up. If we could consolidate and then break to the upside, then we can maybe use this little pole pattern, or this flag pattern, should I say. So we had this big run up, then consolidation. We could probably drag from the top to the bottom of this pole, drag that to the breakout if we could break to the upside, and then that takes us right about the first red line, 0.450, which is, if we zoom out again, it's one of those previous resistances that I was looking at. We had there's not a lot of action in that level here. I mean, kind of, but yeah, it was in the past. So that's kind of why I'm looking at this red line right there. Maybe even right here we'd have to kind of watch out, because there's a lot of resistance right here in just the recent past, which is around 0.4179. That's what I'm saying. Look it out on your own chart. Like if you go to tradingview.com, if you're ever kind of lost, go to tradingview.com, look up Dogecoin. I'm looking at a Doge USDT on Binance, just in case you want to, just so you can follow along in case you're like, oh, he didn't say the number. Go check it out on your own chart. But what I'm looking at is we have support right here, having this uptrend. I think if we break through this uptrend going to the downside, then that might make us break this bottom right here. Support, like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, where I'm looking at. So we had this run up, kind of breaking that trend a little bit, where we had, let's see, let's go to the hourly time frame and you can see it probably a little bit better. Maybe something like this, where we had an uptrend, boom, support, and then broke it sideways. We're watching the top, watching the bottom. It hasn't really quite broke the top or the bottom. So yet, and that's what we're waiting for. Once it breaks to the top, then we can start looking at 0.450 potentially. If it breaks to the bottom, then I'm looking at 0.338. Maybe even come down. That'd be cool if it came down to 0.294. I wouldn't mind that either. Like I've been saying, I kind of want it to stay in this Fibonacci retracement box. Kind of want to stay in this box, so that way we can trade it. Right now, let's see if we come back down, hit a limit order right there, come back down, hit a limit order right here again, and then maybe bounce or something. Or I don't know. I mean, even continue to, We'll see what happens. It might even, but it could potentially, like I was saying, if it breaks through this, if we can break through that though, like if we can break through the upside, then this would be the next spot, and then the next spot would be the previous top, which is 0.4848 approximately. If we could break through that and then continue to go, that might give us some steam, and might be able to go to 0.589 would be the next one, and then 0.738 would be the next kind of targets moving upwards. But I guess we're kind of waiting to see what happens, up or down. I kind of want it to go down just so we can like trade. Like I'd rather it kind of just go sideways, bouncing in between these two Fibonacci retracement levels, or these three of them, even if it goes kind of something like that. But it already kind of has though. It kind of went up, bounced down, came up. Came down, but it didn't quite hit that Fibonacci retracement level. But it did a bounce right there. Got resistance right at the 23% though, and let's see what happens if we could break through it, or if we're gonna break to the downside. 23% level is 0.394. All right, I think that about does it though. What about moving averages? Let's see what's up with those real quick before we take off. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, the daily looks good still. I'm kind of looking at so sometimes, like when we have these moving averages, something like this, sometimes it'll come down and test it. So like let's say we do start going to the downside, the 9 moving average might like support it. We might come down and not, like this is above that Fibonacci retracement level, so it might come down. It would have to break through this one to get to the next one, and if it broke through it, then it'd probably get a nice red candle, something like that. So it might not come down all the way there. That's something to take in mind while having limit orders there, because it might not go there. It might bounce on it, and then like we did back here, because I was hoping that it would come down. Okay, so we came down, hit it once, got a bounce. I was hoping that we'd come down again, but we didn't. We stayed kind of right in the middle of the Fibonacci retracement levels, and then potentially we could be looking at something like that again, which would be kind of annoying. It'd be nicer if it actually went down, but let's see what happens. I don't know. Sorry, I know you guys want it to go up. I'm sorry, but if it does, I think if it does break to the upside, I'll be way less confident on these limit orders. But I do have, Dogecoin on Ledger. I talked about that yesterday. Let's see, what else do we got? I think that's pretty much it though. I think the main things we're probably watching. Let's go ahead and delete that. I think these are the two things that I'm watching right now. So we have this trend line going to the upside. We have support, trend line going up. Right now we are trending up, but we also are having trouble breaking through this resistance, and we are finding support down here. So let's see how long we go sideways. We're basically waiting for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. I think also we have this support giving us this trend line. Once we cross this, sometime around Tuesday, 7 January 10, 1 o'clock. I don't know, or I guess it could go all the way over here to 6 o'clock. Who knows? But somewhere around there, then we might get a move. Like, so if it breaks this one going to the downside, then, or I guess you still have to watch the top and the bottom, wouldn't you? So I think until it breaks the top, the bottom, or the top of this, I think that's when we could get more confident on which way it's actually going. Right now it is going sideways. This isn't a bad sign though, that it is trending up technically, and we got this big huge run right here. So that could be a bull flag like I was talking about. That could take us all the way up to 0.450, or let's see what this target is, 0.452, something like that. Let me know what you guys think. Thinking about does it. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up, and if you want to hit subscribe, that'd be cool. If you're not subscribed, almost at 10k subbies. Let me know what you guys are thinking though in the comments, and if you want to watch the last video, check it out right here, and if you're new to trading, check out this playlist right here. It'll help get you started. All right, I'll see you guys later.